Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is a book review for spooky season, and that is going to be American Psycho. Now, with American Psycho, I'm going to tell you guys I had no idea how this book was going to be because the only context I knew about this book is TikTok, and TikTok only had a bunch of like memes of it, so I didn't know like anything about this book. And by the way, the movie, still haven't watched the movie yet. I just know about those clips. So TikTok kind of ruined the movie for me. So I don't know if I'm ever gonna actually watch it. So this book is so disturbing in so many ways that is just like it was really hard to read. So I actually did the audiobook and that just made it worse. Like the book was actually like it was really good, but it was also like, holy crap, this is like insane. So the book starts off writing in first person is uh Bateman, Patrick Bateman, and you get to like go through the mind of what he thinks. And I'm not gonna lie, how he thinks about everything in general is just so wild. Just everything he does is just it seriously blows my mind with the way he like thinks about things and just how his mind works. Because it's just to the point. Like he's like OCD, but like times 10. And it just blows my mind. You get to when you first get into this book, it really sets the tone of kind of how a lot of these people are written and a lot of how these characters act because you get to hear a lot of words. I'm not gonna. I for one, I actually can't use some of these words towards groups of people that he and the rest of these guys say, and it's just very bad. But like I don't know, like when I was reading this book, I was like, all right, so when do we get to start seeing like the psycho? Because all that you were seeing is Patrick Bateman's like day to day life of just what he does. Because he's like he works on Wall Street, so he's like a really rich dude, and he will just go into details. No joke. There's like chapters of like him just going into details of his just morning routine. Like there was like a 5-page chapter of just what he does when he gets up and before he goes to work. And then that's it. That's literally the chapter. And when I was reading this, at first I was like, dang, this is kind of boring. This book is just so boring. But then the more you actually like sit back and think about it, you're like, no, this is actually kind of like a genius book. Because it's all like I said, it's all first person. So it's just Bateman's just writing the book essentially. So you actually get in the mind of a psychopath, kind of. And it was insane. Like I don't even know how to like elaborate. I want people to read this book, but I also don't want anyone to read it because it's just absolutely just nuts. I know I keep saying absolutely, but like my vocabulary is just not very big today, and I don't know how else to like express this book. And then there's like parts where he talks about like bands that he really likes and music, and he'll just no joke, just the chapter is just about that. Like he literally talked about Whitney Houston in a chapter, and that was it. Like he talked about how Whitney Houston had a really good like album, and he just went into detail of how each song was good and like critiqued it. It was just so weird, and I didn't know how to like respond to any of this when I was reading it or listening to it because, like I said, I was doing both. He would just go into details about these like little things, and then we were slowly getting into like the actual psychopath side where he would like kill people. And I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty messed up. Like I'm used to reading some pretty graphic stuff, but like I'm not used to torture graphic stuff. Like I'm used to people like I read, playing Stephen King. I read a lot of scary stuff, but this wasn't scary. It was like just it felt like it was like Saw, and I don't actually like Saw because I really don't like. I'm not into that gory. Like I'm into gory, but like I'm not into like that stuff. If that makes sense. Like I'm into gory movies if it's like makes sense. Like gore is just like porn, I guess. I don't even know. It's torture porn essentially. That's what it is, and that's what it kind of felt like with this because there was like so many times where like Bateman is like doing things with women, and then it's like normal, and then it just progressively keeps getting worse to like what he actually starts torturing these girls, and you're like, holy crap! And every time there was like 3 chapters that said just girls. I instantly was like, I had to like mentally prepare myself because I was like, holy crap, this is gonna be bad. Like you just know it's gonna be bad. And then one of the chapters literally said he's like, I drowned a kid at a zoo. I'm like, what? Like, it's just I just I don't even know how to explain any of this without actually like thinking, damn, this is wild. Like, I don't know, I thought about this a lot. I haven't done this. I wanted to wait to really think about this review because I just kind of wanted to express my feelings with it. But I just don't know if I would ever recommend this to anyone because this book is just like that, like that. It's absolutely insane. I never thought seeing the cover of this book, yeah, it's called American Psycho, and you like, I just thought, I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be a serial killer, but like to the degree how he writes this book and how detailed he writes this book for how he does these things, just blows my mind that like this can go this deep, and like it just shows like the mind of someone like crazy like that. So I'm like, holy crap, this is nuts. So yeah, like, would I recommend this to people? I think if you're into like, if you're fine with this kind of stuff and you want to read the stuff, then yeah, I would recommend it. But if you're not, if you're like squeamish, like I didn't realize I'm kind of squeamish now while reading these kind of things, because like the most extreme thing that I got into, like I thought was a little like squeamish, was when Stephen King wrote Misery, and when Annie was like going at Paul's like ankle with the axe, and just the way he described it made me a little squeamish. But I kept reading it because I was like, okay, finally some action. But anyways, American Psycho, it's like cranked up to like 100, and it's so morbid. And I don't know how else to describe it. I don't want to describe any of the scenes because YouTube will like obliterate this video probably if I did that. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not very big, so who knows. But anyways, though, would I recommend it to people? If you are up to like reading that, or just watch the movie. I heard the movie's not nearly as graphic. So now, would I reread it? Absolutely not. Would I watch the movie? Absolutely. And that's it. That's it. That's my limit. Is probably gonna watch the movie. If you made it to the end of this video, I do appreciate it. Make sure you check out all my socials down below. Check out my book and add me on Goodreads. I want to see what you guys are reading. And of course, make sure you guys stay safe, stay hungry, and tell someone you love them. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.